Ladies and gentlemen, we are here again today at the Blue Collar Hustle, and we got a special one today because it's a little blue collar overlap. There's going to be some relatability here, definitely for sure. I want to introduce today Robert and Debbie Mann. They have a lot of different hats that they wear, but today we're going to talk PA, public adjusting, and how it relates in the insurance world and the blue collar world, and how we all kind of intermingle. What you can do for me, how I can help you in that world. So here we are today. Robert, why don't you go first? Tell us a little bit about how in the heck you got to be a PA, because it can't be it's not the sexiest thing to do sometimes, right?
Yeah.
But it is definitely something that is important to our world.
Yeah, I have to admit the PA concept didn't come up in a lot of locker room conversations. So I'm going to say, even when you say it now, they go, what? So a lot of people don't even actually know what it is. And even when you tell them and you talk to them about it, they don't have any idea what that is. And it's not from ignorance, it's just one of those things that kind of goes under the current. And then it's of extreme value, they find out afterwards. And then
So what's
it's
a
all
PA to us? Tell us
So-
layman's out here what PA means.
So a public adjuster is a licensed professional in any given state. Every state has its version that will be the advocate person for the home or business owner to make sure they get, and I'm going to use the big word for it, indemnified for claims on either their homes or business. So indemnified means you get the proper payment compensation from the insurance company.
That's a big one too.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to hit it right in the head. Like the insurance companies scare me on both ends. When I have to pay out my premiums for the business, and quite frankly, as a consumer, I get nervous. I feel like if I got to use them, somehow they're going to come back at me, in some kind of way to get their money back. Like they're not going to let it go down. And before we started this, you made me feel a little bit better because I feel a little icky sometimes about number one, starting a claim, or on the other side as a contractor. And this is what we're going to do today. There's a lot of contractors, other than our storm chaser market down in Midwest and hurricane stuff. Like that's different. They're very aware of it. But some of our smaller contractors that might be able to really give good information to homeowners about that, we're blind by it. We're scared. Why are we so scared? What has happened to us that makes us so scared?
Yeah. So the industry itself, as a homeowner, I have to relate to it as well. There's always this kind of like big business kind of concept of it that you're not supposed to scratch at this, and that somehow there's going to be some repercussion to it. People are fearful of losing their policies. People are fearful of being obligated to different things, not being covered. So therefore, they kind of shy away and find tough ways to try and resolve things. Sometimes it's almost impossible because these are sometimes big ticket situations, and it's very intimidating. So you get kind of scared to go there. And until we can get to the point where we get a chance to inform everybody, really get the information across, sometimes it's really tough to get through that icky, sticky feel.
Yeah, and you're available to us as contractors. Like you're there as an asset for us. You're not. I think what for me, I always felt like a public adjuster was somehow still an insurance company's tool. That somehow, some way, they were still what is the word I want to look for? In bed together in a sense of way. I want for an easier way. And that's why as a contractor I never wanted to take that route. I'm like, somehow I might get bumped out. You're gonna come in, or somebody's gonna come in and use their contractors. But that's not the case either.
The opposite.
Yeah, that's not the case either.
So let's part the Red Sea on that. Public adjusters advocate for the policyholder. Simple as that. We work with those who are trying to fix, repair, and help and service. We are not representing the insurance company. The insurance company has their own set of adjusters. They could be internal, they could be independent, doesn't matter. Those are the insurance adjusters. Agenda for insurance company, keep their money, pay out less. Agenda for public adjusters, we're going to make some money because this is a field of work. We're going to get the homeowner and the business owner best satisfied.
Nice.
And it's going to always be different.
I like that. That's I hope we're all listening out there, because even me right now, I actually enjoy having you on because it's one of those things I just don't know anything about, and I'm walking around with the same kind of fear factor of like, oh, I don't want to sign icky. I don't want to do it. How about you, Debbie? Where's your involvement? How'd you get into this world? Husband and wife team, we like the husband and wife teams. I myself, Like I said before, we're a husband and wife team, so we find success
Yeah.
and we find some trouble spots. But
Yeah.
like, how did you get involved? How do you like the husband and wife dynamic? How did you get into the PA world?
Yeah, sure. So I have to say that Rob is really the entrepreneurial mind of the two of us. I'm more task oriented, so he's got these ideas. I'm like, okay, tell me what you want to do, and I'll make it happen. And so, really, that's how we've started all of our businesses. I know we're only here to talk about PA today. But you know what? We were in the healthcare industry, and I just needed a break from that. We were doing a lot of heavy mental health treatment, and I said, let me do something different. And I really happened upon public adjusting work. And what I've learned is that I'm still doing the same kind of thing in a positive way, though, because I'm advocating for people. And I think I see it like this. You wouldn't go to a real estate deal with only one side having a realtor. You wouldn't go to court with only one side having an attorney. So why would you go and file an insurance claim with only one side having an adjuster?
Excellent metaphor right there.
So we as public
Sir.
adjuster
Excellent.
represent the homeowner. We are their advocate. They don't have to do anything once we get involved. We take over. We'll do all the emailing, all the negotiating, all the back and forth, and we'll make sure they get treated fairly and, more importantly, paid fairly for their claim.
Yeah.
Right, she is.
Told you.
The brains
I
and
tried
everything.
to tell you.
Oh, it's the same thing with me and the wife. I'm
Yes.
shooting ideas all over the place, and she's lining them up.
I
tell
think
you-
of it, she makes it happen.
I'll tell you, there was a recent TV show that does like looking into different things, and they did an episode on adjusters, and really the insurance adjusters, the ones that work for the insurance company, became whistleblowers. And they talked about how they would be fired if they did a complete estimate. They talked about how they would complete estimates and the insurance company would decrease their estimates by more than 98%. And so, you know that it's not even, I can't even blame the adjusters. It's really the companies, because insurance companies, the only way they make money is by collecting our premiums, investing it, getting them wealthy, and then scaring homeowners into not filing claims by homeowners thinking that they're going to lose their insurance. Or, and all of this is illegal, by the way. They're not allowed to punish homeowners for using their insurance.
That's good to know, because I feel like that vibe, that mindset is still out there. I got to hold on to this policy that if I use it, I might lose it.
Why do you want it if they
Like,
treat you
yeah,
like that?
like, wow, that seems crazy.
That conversation is in every conversation we have with every person we're talking to about it. That's how powerful that message has gone out there. Don't forget, there's a purpose. There's a psychological purpose for that to be put out there and cast out there, because guess what? You don't file claims. Guess what? They don't have to pay. It's very simple. So
Man, that's the thing. What kind of success stories have you had for people that maybe just like you found them, or they found you, and you were able to turn
So many. Which one? Well, we could think about, we worked with a client who, what a nice guy. He had a tree fall on his roof just before he was going to sell his property. The insurance company told him they would pay him, I think, a few thousand, like $7,000 or something. And, we, of course, come in, and that's not fair. He had structural damage, he had roof damage. So we advocated for him, and thankfully we were able to get him, I think it was like $60,000.
Oh, that's a difference.
We also had another gentleman who had his whole place was vandalized by a tenant he was trying to evict. So we opened, we ended up working with him on 3 claims, and we got him reimbursed for a water claim, a vandalism claim, and actually Rob found the electrical issue in that home and just got him what he actually deserved in that claim, because they were not going to pay him either,
yeah, not a chance that the insurance company would have offered or even considered the question about it. But because of the training, I knew the check for a certain aspect, and we used a certain amount of tools and things that we do to check for stuff. And it revealed a very serious and risky issue in the house, because it was electric, because moisture and electric, they don't play together without knowing to look for that and add to that. I'm sure the insurance company did not like that discovery, and they tried to fight it, but ultimately that person got proper. It was a 2-family house with another tenant. Imagine that fire risk there not being even addressed and unknown, and then what that risk was to the other tenant. He was seeing this nice old lady
Yeah.
upstairs.
And to that,
So-
that makes sense for this education being even more important for somebody that starts to claim on their own, like you just said, why would you go to court without a lawyer for yourself, right? You're making a claim on their own for, let's just say, a roof damage, and just saying, I just need somebody to look at my roof, and not saying anything else. That's super important for someone to come in and full picture it. What else happened? What water got in my house? Did it touch any wires? Did it affect any ductwork? Is there something, that the moisture is causing inside the walls that I can't see? It's super important. So like even a single tradesman, perhaps like myself, comes in there and says, I'll give you an estimate for a roof, but I'm not looking at the electric. I'm not looking at the HVAC. I don't even know what a bad one would look like. All the more reason why this is super important. So for these guys out there, don't be afraid to bring in somebody like a public adjuster to your world, like Rob and Debbie here, because they're not on the other team. They're on your team.
That's right.
So it's super important to go there. Like I said, Debbie, yes, we're going to coin that phrase. You don't go to court without your lawyer, right?
That's right.
You
Or
don't
a
go without your
realtor.
lawyer.
That's right.
You need a realtor
That's right.
for a real
And you
estate
don't have to
transaction.
fight your battle when there's a public adjuster. They do all of it. They actually help insulate you from that challenge and that difficulty. So it's a really nice thing for the
It's so stressful for
insurance holder.
people who are going through a hard time. So thankfully, we take it over and do it. Yeah.
And for the blue collar aspect of this is what the show is really reaching out to, right? So every single kind of tradesperson I could think of will have access to different kind of situations where damage has occurred. Every single one. And the difference between what you can help a homeowner get to may be the difference that an adjuster can make. We're not doing your work. We're not even trying to. I can't do that work. But I can identify what would be better for the homeowner to get it more correct once we're involved. And that oftentimes means a better situation for the person who's providing the service, doing the repair, and for the homeowner.
Right.
That's a big win.
Even accidental damage. I mean, like, let's not forget a cracked tile in the kitchen. We'll get the whole floor paid for. If it goes into multiple rooms, we get that paid for as well.
Yeah,
An
right now
overflow
we're doing
toilet.
the hammer, right?
Right.
A kid hammered the floor and made dents in the floor.
Did.
It's going to be covered.
Linoleum. Yeah, so it's going to be covered.
That's interesting.
You don't think of
Yeah.
it that way.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
drop your pot, it cracks your tile. I don't know if I should say that. You're allowed to be stupid. Does not mean that you don't get covered just because you did something wrong.
My
talk
favorite is the grill.
the
The
melted
grill.
siding. You're allowed to melt your siding. We had one story. I didn't work on this claim, but somebody was telling me about a claim where somebody put up wrong color siding in the wrong temperature environment. It absorbed all of the
Melts.
heat and it melted down, covered. You're allowed to make mistakes because it's not if you intentionally do something, that's a very different story. But accidents and things are all part of it. You saw somebody who was spraying a banister sprayed onto their siding, covered.
By homeowners insurance, not the contractor.
No, homeowners insurance, they did their own. That example
Yeah,
was I did my own.
That's if the contractor is a little.
No, it wasn't a
flighty,
contractor.
disappears.
The
No.
homeowner
Oh,
does
if you're
it.
home,
You were doing it. I'm spraying my banister.
Oh, so
I
you're
sprayed
right, you
onto
are
my
allowed to
siding.
be
I
stupid.
ruined my siding.
Oh my gosh,
Right.
I was getting nervous at it. I thought.
But if they figure out that or think that you were purposely
there's a
doing
line
it to try and
between
get a claim.
stupidity and negligence,
Right.
I would imagine.
right,
Right.
Yeah.
You can't intentionally be trying to create
Yeah.
claims.
Yeah.
That's not kosher
But
anyway whatsoever.
I mean, I don't know if everybody does, but we do free inspections. So if anybody has even a question about whether something would be covered, we'll come out for free. We'll inspect your home. We'll look, make sure that there aren't damages that can be covered. And if you had something that you thought, well, is this or is this not? We'll come look.
That's an amazing. And it's not just yourself. That's a public adjuster's normal, way they conduct their business, their process.
We also do
Many-
policy reviews to make sure whether you're overinsured or undercovered. God forbid something happens and you just don't have the right coverage that you should have on your house. Guess what?
Yeah.
Blank out of luck.
Yeah, we talked about insurance on another one, and yeah, sometimes the way those policies are written, it helps and hurts you. And so I want to be able to. We always ask the husband and wife teams we do a little quick PA thing now, but when you're a husband and wife team, give me the advice out there. We do this with the other husband and wife teams. What makes it work for you versus being in two different industries. When you're working together, it's different. Sometimes it's cats and dogs. Sometimes it's, a nice blend. Like, what for you guys would you recommend? Would you give the advice out there for other husband and wife teams? Because blue collar world, we're riddled with it. What's your advice out there to make it work when you're either struggling to make it work, to get that longevity, to be able to get over that hump as a husband and wife team?
Well, I would say well, you can answer for yourself, but I'll say we have at least three businesses together. And I think knowing each other's strengths and playing to the strength. So Rob is, I would say, the idea guy. He can, think of ideas, and even as you're doing a project, think of new ideas for the project. And I'm very task oriented. So Rob he's ideas, and then his mind will go someplace else while I'm doing all the work on the computer, making sure, okay, you have this idea. What are the 10 steps we need to get there?
Yeah.
And together that's worked, because I would never, ever, ever have been an entrepreneur unless he started all of this. I used to say I blame him, but now we've had success, so I guess,
Yeah,
attribute it to
entrepreneurial
him.
life is not for the lighthearted.
Yeah, and I think because we complement each other, we have different strengths, and we just play to our strengths, and be willing to accept that we don't always agree.
How many times does he piss you off?
Often,
Right?
Yeah.
And you just deal with it.
Really?
Deal with it. But you know what? He's my chef, and he's no.
Oh, you're the chef too?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
my
So what
kitchen.
happens is when I'm task oriented, he's making me food and bringing it to me. So he gives me the idea, I kind of do it. He's cooking for
I
me,
love
bringing me food.
I love it. I love it. It's
How would you answer that?
yeah. What about you? What's your answer there, Rob?
Well, let's see after that. So, first of all, I'm also like the guy who, I can find Waldo really fast. And I
Yes.
see when something's wrong. So I have a very good eye for seeing when something doesn't make sense. But I don't always have the best go into mode to get it taken care of. Debbie has the most fascinating and unbelievable beast mode that there is. So it's like, get out of the way.
But
I
then I
call her
don't
the
see the
Tasmanian
obstacles.
devil. If the, well, I move all the crap out of the way so she doesn't run into it and crash and all that stuff. But I'm going to say something more fundamental and simple. She gave me my kids, and they're the best things that ever existed on this planet. And you don't forget that when you're working with somebody who's your best friend and also your partner and your spouse. We have our spats, and I'm sure I piss her off more than she pisses me off. That is fair, but you got to remember what the bigger picture is, no matter what you're doing. And when we do that, we get back to task. Even when things aren't perfect for a moment, we find our way back to task, because you remember what the mission is. We got to send something out to the kid at school, or we got to, buy a pet set of shoes, or somebody needs a new lacrosse stick, or whatever it is.
That's so wonderful.
Makes it a little
That's what we
easier.
are too. Being a family business, we're generations deep. If the family is what made all of it last,
Right.
everything. You're getting back to the basics. A common theme, and whenever I ask this question, is balance.
Balance.
And
That's so
being
funny.
being contemporary to knowing what, like you said, the strengths are. That's amazing. I'm glad you guys came here today. I know we wanted to just do a real quick episode with you guys and make sure that we got that kind of start shedding that ugliness of public adjusters or insurance companies as being the enemy. We got to make sure that we got some allies on our side as blue collar people out there in the world, and that we actually can use you guys as an asset for us, not the other way around. You're not fighting us, you're helping us. So I
100%.
appreciate that. I appreciate you shedding a positive light on that. And another husband and wife team. I think we got a little theme going here that it's really starting to happen.
Let's
Husband and
go.
wife teams here.
do
So
it.
again, I appreciate you guys coming down. And
Thanks for
anybody
having
out there
us.
that has any questions about PA or anything related to insurance in general, drop it in those comments, man. We got to get you guys interacting with this so we can pass around this knowledge as all these questions come through. Because my experience, the Q&A part of any discussion is where the most value lands
100%.
or lives, rather.
Absolutely.
So you know what to do, guys out there. You got to press that like and follow button so you get updated on these comments when they drop. And stay tuned for that next episode. They're going to be just as hot as this next one here.